All right. So welcome to our Brilliance Team Zoom. I'm excited. It's a good day. So we just wrapped up our level 1 incentive yesterday.
Yeah.
Congratulations to everyone on the entire Zoom. We all made it. I'm excited. I love this incentive. So you're both going for level 2, yes, and level 3, right? Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That jacket. I so want that jacket.
Yeah, we want, because we can't get any marketing materials here at the minute, so we're not even allowed to do anything. There was a couple of companies that were going to do it, and then obviously Jamberry pulled them. So we haven't even got T-shirts or nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At all. So that would be fabulous if we could get that.
Yeah.
It's a nice jacket too. Oh my goodness.
I'm not excited about the hat and the sunglasses because obviously I wear glasses. And I'm but it's nice to have something with Jamberry on it, so you can just flash around and say, look what I've got.
Yes.
Yeah, it could be an incentive for someone else because some people love hats.
That's true. Cool. I have a hard time wearing hats. I personally do, but I just went this weekend with some friends, and that was what I noticed. Everyone else had a hat on, and pulled their hair in a ponytail and called it good. When we were, we weren't really camping, but we, that kind of thing.
Casual.
I was the only one without a Jamberry hat. So it's like, I need one of those. I really do. But I'm going to have to take the brim and make it like this because I'm just too old school. I can't do it.
Flat brim's supposed to be the way to go, but I don't get
it. This is completely off the subject, but the really, really flat ones, I just don't like the attitude that sometimes comes with those. So for the longest time, my children were not allowed to wear them.
That's all they want to wear now. And leave the sticker on. You have to leave the symbols on.
Yeah, I don't understand that. All right. Well,
there's one. See? She's got her sticker on it still.
I know. All of my kids. I have one son that it looks really good on the others. I'm like, really just curve it around. It'll look awesome. Okay. So the information that I wanted to share today is something that we've kind of talked about before, but I was at the area meeting in Sacramento just as part of my trip, which was really great. Got to go and present over there. And one of the leaders there took something that I said and then kind of tweaked it around. And I loved the way she talked about it because to me, it just put a whole new spin on something that we talk about a lot. So we talk about our why. Why do we want to do Jamberry? And I think that is incredibly important. Adrenaline can take you a ways. It can build your business for a while. Just plain determination does a lot too. But if you don't have some vision of where you're trying to get to, it goes away. And I've seen extremely successful leaders that once they have reached their why, haven't taken the time to figure out what else they're going for. And the stress just isn't worth it after a little while. Yeah. It doesn't even matter that they're bringing in, these huge paychecks that, at least to me, that's huge. $15,000 or $20,000 a month that they're bringing in. And then the why is gone. And so quickly, there goes the vision of why in the world I was doing this. And it's not because they aren't a visionary type of a person or anything like that. It's because they made it. And so that's so important to kind of figure out, why are you doing it? So since we're so teeny tiny, do you have a portion of a why that you'd like to share? Why are you doing this?
Me? Oh, God. There's been that many whys that... at the moment, I think it's going to be mainly a holiday. I've got a holiday in August. Only a week away, and I'm saving all the money. Well, I was until we've dipped into it this week, but that's great about the Jamberry card because you just go out and you can use it wherever.
Yes.
But like a haircut. But yeah, it's for holiday. So when we go on holiday, we can go and do what we want. We can go, don't have to worry about how much the excursions are going to cost, and we can take the kids out and just have fun and not have to worry about the money. So it's spending money. So that's what I'm aiming for August. After August, ask me then. I don't know.
Okay. So
that's my why at
in the back of your head then. Good.
Hello?
Definitely put it in the back of your head that you need to decide what is your next why.
Yeah.
Is it going to just be the trip for next year?
I think the main why is it's my children. I want a better life for my children. I want them to have what they want. Well, not be spoilt and become bratty, but to, you know, be able to say, oh yeah, we can get, you know, need some new shoes, let's go and get them, and do you know what I mean? And not have to say, oh no, I'm gonna wait for payday. And
Okay.
So there. So it's my kids that are making my why at the moment more than anything.
Good. Do you have any that you would like?
Well, very specifically, my why is so that I don't have to go work full time for somebody else, because I really struggle with, you know, 8 to 5, not having control of my time, being in one place. And so my why is if I can, you know, make an income that I don't have to go work for somebody else. That's very motivating to me.
Okay. All right. Mine is financial security. The peace that comes with knowing that I can cover the bills that I need to cover, that I can make a decision based on whether or not I feel like it's a good decision for our family, not be just owned by whether my bank account says I can afford to do it. And so I would like it to be more specific, but when it really comes down to it, that's really what it's all about with mine. I enjoy, you know, the fight or the personal development and those things that come with that, but it really is, it's that security. So along those lines, we talk about whys, we talk about goals, and they tend to kind of, you know, intermix and go together. The goals, sometimes we talk about those being more like a steps to get to your why. Sometimes the goal might be, and you're just going to have to go with whatever language you're most comfortable with. But it's important to have that big dream. What's the big thing that really pushes you? And then those goals that go along, and they're going to be, you know, they might be daily, they might be hourly, it might be weekly, monthly. It just kind of depends where you're at. Some people will call it steps to act, or, you know, action steps. There's so many, you know, good habits, things like that. And it really, I don't want anybody to get caught up in the terminology that we use, whether or not this is a goal or that's a goal, or this is a why, or that's, you know, as long as you have a plan, that's going to work for you. The part that I wanted to talk about just a little bit is, what is your non-negotiable? And that was the expression that Amy Adams introduced to me. And it is exactly what we've talked about before, but I love that term. What part of this business plan is your non-negotiable? And that's going to have to be something that you have control of. You can't put a non-negotiable as something that your team has control of. Or, for instance, my non-negotiable is 700 PRV a month. If I'm laying in a hospital bed, as long as I am conscious, I will have that 700 PRV in the month. Does that make sense? That's not based on team numbers. My rank will rise and it will fall. That's the way the compensation plan works. But my non-negotiable is, I will have my 700 PRV. And, you know, it's one of those things that sometimes we might change what our non-negotiable is, but it's a conscious decision. So we get to the end of the month and say, yours is a PRV goal. Maybe it's a 200 PRV goal. Maybe, you know, whatever it is. It doesn't actually have to be a PRV. It can be something else. My non-negotiable could be, I will work my business on Mondays. Does anyone have an example of a non-negotiable? Have you ever considered that before? Do you have a non-negotiable with Jamberry? And if you don't yet, that's fine. This is
other than 200 PRV, you know, I haven't really thought about that. So that's good to think about.
All right. To me, the 700 PRV, I will never not promote or not be paid as some, you know, a certain rank because of something I've done. The 700 is the only part I can control. And so that's my non-negotiable. Does that make sense? And no matter what my rank is, it never has to be higher than 700. Now, my goal is not, I mean, I'm going to want a lot higher than that in a month. I really don't want to sit at 700. One of my goals for this month, and I shared last week or 2 weeks ago, was my 30 one-on-ones. Okay. I'm not making my 30 one-on-ones at all. I'm still continuing to work toward it, but I'm not even getting close. What's happening is I'm getting parties booked in between, and that's taking my time. People are inviting friends over, and then it's not a one-on-one anymore. People are canceling on me, lots and lots of cancellations, because I've treated it pretty low key, like, let's just get together. So then low key is really easy to cancel too. Mm-hmm. So I've had about half have canceled or postponed, and they just get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. The thing is, because that's my goal and I'm still working toward it, even though I know I'm not going to actually make my 30 goal, that one's not non-negotiable for me. As long as my business goals are sitting where, I'm getting the PRV that I need, the TRV that I need, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Not that I can control the TRV. The PRV and the parties that I need, I'm actually okay with not hitting my 30 one-on-ones. But that non-negotiable, that 700 PRV, I'm not okay with not hitting. Does that make sense? To me, that feels, and I would welcome any input, because I think that's really helpful to me, because it's my ultimate goal and I know this is where I'm headed. The action steps that I planned along the way may change, but my eye is still on that same price. Mm-hmm. So I'm okay with that. I don't have to feel like I failed or anything like that. I still worked, still got lots further than I was, and my ultimate, I made it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Thoughts. I would love thoughts. And I see.
So I was thinking that because you're continuing to work towards your goal, mm-hmm. it will still benefit you, even if you don't hit it by the end of this month, because all of those contacts that you made will eventually have payoff. Right. And I'm feeling the same way, because my goal was 6 parties, I think. Mm-hmm. And I've been working pretty hard on trying to get the parties, but like I've been sending samples out. I've been messaging a lot of people. I've been calling people, but since I didn't have them already arranged, like by the planning and everything that's going into it, I will get 6 parties, but they might not be by the end of this month. Okay. But still, the fact that was my goal still pushed me way farther than I would have normally gone.
Good. I love that.
But I understand what you're saying about, the PRV, which is a big one, I think, to have as a non-negotiable goal, because like you said, it's something that that maintains your pay level and everything, mm-hmm. that you have control over. So that makes sense.
Right. That PRV, if it does sit kind of as I hope to have 400 PRV because I want to make lead consultant. Mm-hmm. I hope, to me, is not strong enough to push you through. That's going to fit, like, if, say, for instance, that you say, okay, 400 PRV, so that means I need to have 2 parties in the month. I'm going to try and book 3, and maybe you only end up with 1. That's not, at least to me, if you are set and your vision is this is where you want to be with your business, that 400 is going to be something you're going to say, absolutely, okay, I didn't get my parties, so mm-hmm. this means I pick up the phone, this means I text, this means I contact people. That's to me, that's the difference. Mm-hmm. It's perfectly great and wonderful. We want to have a goal for the number of parties we're going for and build our business. But what part do you have control of, and are you willing to do uncomfortable things to make that happen? Helen, I can, were you trying to say my turn?
Scratching my nose.
I really liked the idea too, and I think we talked just a teeny tiny bit about it last month. When you do let that go and say you've said my non-negotiable is 700 and maybe you hit at 350, the next month that rolls around, it's a lot easier to say, well, I'm going for 700, but I'm okay with 5. Because the last time I didn't quite do it. And it's that idea of trusting yourself. It's kind of like if you say, every Monday I'm going to do mailings, and every Monday rolls around and you don't ever do mailings, then when you write it down on your schedule that Monday is a mailing Monday, you already know you don't trust, it doesn't.
You don't trust yourself.
You don't trust yourself. So having those few non-negotiable, and I would recommend really only 1 or 2 that are non-negotiable. Life happens. Have your goal. Know where you're headed. Know where your vision is taking you. Jane, you're better at this than I am.
What?
Oh, non-negotiable. Is it something like life has to be negotiable to a certain extent? This is just the way it is. And especially if you're a mom, things are going to happen. Yeah. So don't get caught up in saying I failed if I don't have my 10 parties in a month.
Yeah, for sure.
No, you haven't failed if you continue to work your business.
Exactly. That's the key. I think you said there is you haven't failed as long as you keep trying. Even if you had 700 PRV, if you continued to make phone calls until 11 p.m. that night, then I think that you didn't fail because you didn't quit trying.
Okay, I agree with that. That if I got up on the last day of the month and said, oh, I mean, I shared with, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't share those things, but my last month that I made phone calls and texts until I had that, I was $450 PRV short on the last day of the month. And I didn't stop until 11:15 p.m. because I was going to do everything it took to get there. And I did. I got there at 7:05. So that to me was a bigger win than so many of the other wins that I've had in my business because I knew I did not give up. And realistically, I was kind of surprised that I could do it.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
If you did that in one day, what about the rest of the month?
Yes, I know.
If you do that in one day, what about the rest of the month?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying not to dwell on that part of it.
$1 in one day. If you were to do, not every day, just could have made.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of that, and I do part of that, and it's not an excuse. As part of that was very much VIP orders, just contacting every single one, and I really can't contact all of them every day. I don't think they would appreciate that very much. Yeah. But I agree that I started thinking about that and thought, okay, maybe that does need to change a little tiny bit of my business plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what it shows is the intensity level. If your why is big enough, if your why is that your child isn't going to get chemotherapy on Saturday, if you haven't sold enough wraps by Thursday, you're going to sell enough wraps because your why is so huge. And so, but none of us want to live at that kind of an intensity level. That's not fun. But, I think that, like you said, it just showed you what you could do and what you were capable of doing. And
gives you a lot of confidence in yourself, in your ability. I agree with you, Jane. I think if your why is big enough, whose quote is that? I've heard that before. If your goal is big enough, then it doesn't matter what the obstacles are. You'll get there. Yes. So that actually is all that I have that's organized for today. I would love to do any Q&A if anyone has any questions. Brainstorming how are you coming towards your level 2? How are your teams doing? It's really up to you if you'd like to discuss any of that, but we have a few more minutes. So does anyone else have any tips or anything that they would like or anything we want to discuss, or we can just be done early, which is not the end of the world either.
Yeah. Does Tristy or Kirsty, who's on there? Do they have anything they want to say?
Kirsty, I'm assuming these are your children and they are adorable. So cute. And Tristy, you're just a silhouette, so we don't really know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute.
I think it's great. Don't worry about it.
Can you hear me now? I've got the dogs going in the back.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, right. It's on my laptop, so I'm not sure. And I look like terrible. I'm not putting the video on. Anyway, I'm not used to this. No, I've got nothing to add. Just listening. This is my first meeting. So I'm sort of earwigging, taking it all in. I couldn't get logged on to begin with. So that was why I was late. I was trying from the beginning, but I was having issues with my laptop. I'm really interested in listening to you ladies. Sorry if I'm talking too quick or the laptop.
No, you're great. I can understand you. And Helen messaged me to let me know that I missed you on the banner. I think that I mixed two names together. So I will go fix that banner. Congratulations for hitting level 1. And I apologize for missing you.
No problem. Thank you.
I will go get it.
It's harder than you think to start trying to keep track of your downline and make sure, that you don't miss anybody. And hopefully everyone will be very understanding because it is.
I hope so, because sometimes I think I should just quit. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah. One thing that I am not quite there yet with, and maybe some of these other guys, we started a lot at the same time. But just the organization of my business and setting those goals and things like that, like you're talking about, is still kind of a work in progress. And I feel like as I'm doing the business over the last couple months, or 3 or 4, however, that I'm finally like getting my brain in the right place of even if I've done it with other businesses and stuff, each one is different. And so I'm finally getting my brain wrapped around, okay, this is how Jamberry works. This is the type of goals. This is the type of organization, and things like that. Our local training did calendar blocking. And so for me, my biggest thing is just continuing to hear these organizational tips and the basics of the business over and over again while I finish getting it through my head.
I would agree with you. That this weekend, as I spent time with some other leaders, I sat there and the more that I thought about it, realized none of the things that we talked about were completely brand new ideas. It's just hearing them at the right time, because your life changes. Statistically, they say about every 6 months. So if your life is changing, your business is changing. Sometimes those ideas that you've seen aren't going to fit the first time around, but maybe, just kind of keep in my head. The way that I think of it is I put them in the back of my brain. So it's there when I need to pull it back out. But I really do feel like participating in the meetings and the trainings brings them fresh into the front of my mind. One leader, and she's actually going to come live on our team page in a couple days, so you guys will get a heads up on that. Okay. She uses just a very simple customer follow-up form system that is so close to what I've done, but just barely tweaks. And part of it is that she just cuts the top of the order form off and glues it onto the sheet of paper instead of transferring the information. And that's on her little sheet. And she doesn't use index cards. I've been using index cards. And to be honest, they've been driving me crazy, even though it works. I have to transfer every bit of information, and it's a little too small. And so then I went to the bigger index cards, and they just still aren't quite there. And I really don't want to write everything on. How basic and simple is that she cuts the top of the order form on and glues it on. And there you go.
A good idea. Ellen, do you use customer cards, or what do you use for customer follow-up?
I've got 2. I've got my address. I've got my address book. It's got everyone's addresses in it. But I've just bought a not a data capture. The photo, like what, index cards.
Yeah.
I've just bought them. And now you've just said that, I feel like I shouldn't be using them. But yeah, and by the time the samples comes in, when I follow up and everything else. So
I'm actually going to be there, but I told you I was going to be about 10 minutes late. So
sorry.
Just ignore her voice.
I haven't, I'm in the middle of the training.
That's what I've been doing. I've got, at the moment, I've got a lot of customers coming back to me. I'm having to follow up with them. They're coming back to me and saying, love it, I want some more. So I'm not getting many orders going through the website, if I'm going to be honest with you. Mainly they all jump on my bulk orders. So, but I like that, because then I get to deliver and I can speak to them face to face then.
Yeah. I think that will happen over time.
I prefer to drop the orders to them, because I'm a very face-to-face person. I like to talk.
Yeah.
And I can get excited, and they can see how excited I am, and do you know what I mean? So yeah. There's a lot. I've sent out a lot of recruiting packs as well over the last couple of weeks, and I'm following up with them. And
good.
Do you know what I mean? It's
a lot of follow.
It's slow at the minute. I'm having to send everything by recorded delivery, because I'm getting people saying I've not received it, and I'm like, oh. So, do you know what I mean? It's costing. The cost at the moment is a lot of money. I know some of the girls are struggling with like posting the samples out and stuff like that. So, if one of them suggested getting them to pay for the postage for the samples, which personally I wouldn't do that, because I don't, you know what I mean? I'm sending them a sample and but I know a lot of the girls are struggling with a lot of things at the minute, sales and things like that. So,
I think that's kind of. Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say that I think that's kind of what I'm talking about. Is it takes you a little while to get your own system going, and then financially, what I've noticed is you're building a lot in the first few months. And so you really end up investing any money you made back into it almost until you get a party big enough. Like I actually closed a party that I had 675 party points on. So that's going to be a ton of inventory for me. And so then your cash flow finally can get to the point where it's okay. You can post, you know what I mean? Your business has enough cash. Like when you normally start a business, you don't start broke. Like you start a business and you have a marketing budget and you have different budgets. So you have cash in your business to start with that you're doing. So when we buy these starter kits, we buy it for $99 and essentially we start broke. Does that make sense? Like we don't have any operating capital when we start. And so unless you're someone who has some money to put operating capital with your $99, then the concept is that you need to do a party that week, to get your money back, and then you do that. And so we're doing, most people do this business in that way where you are building your capital as you do it. And that makes it kind of painful the first few months of doing business. When you feel like you can't afford a stamp to mail out your marketing material, that's a hard way to do business. But it's what makes it possible for people who don't have a lot of money to invest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so I think it's normal. And so I would just try to encourage everybody, if they listen to this or if you talk to them, to just keep going and fight through that kind of painful stage where you've already spent your $99. You've probably invested a little bit more money into some organization, some paperwork, your business cards, your things like that. And unless you're the kind of person who's going to do 3 parties a week, no matter what, that's your non-negotiable, like Stephanie said, it's going to take you longer to build up cash flow to operate your business comfortably. So I hope that made sense.
It does.
It does.
I know that sometimes getting the parties booked is the hardest thing. One thing that I really would recommend is taking a look at who are you sending samples to. If you're building completely online and you're trying to just send a sample, then get a party, send a sample hoping to get a party, it is going to be a slower go because you're going to have to send out a lot before those parties will book. If they are at all open to doing in-home parties, I know sometimes they're harder to book those in-home parties, but think of them as a gold mine. That's where you're going to get more people. And once you get established, hostess rewards are the huge reason that people will have a party. But when you're first starting out, a lot of times it is more of, these are really cute. I really like them. Will you trust me and help me out by having a party? Mm-hmm. I realize that's it's hard. And somebody has done a lot of different businesses that realistically, that's a challenge. Mm-hmm. But that would be your gold mine. That's why you're sending those things out, is to get more people, because a party will be where your profit comes in. And it's also going to be where you get essentially almost warm contacts, because your hostess has introduced you to her friends. She's given her testimonial about who you are. She may not be able to give her testimonial about what the product is at that point, but she can say, this is my friend and she's trustworthy. She's someone that you can listen to, that sort of thing, by inviting you into their home. I do understand that it is hard to book the parties. And at times, seasonally, it can be harder at some seasons than others.
At the moment, to be fair, the sort of home party has died a death here.
Okay.
We are trying to obviously revive it back up again. So I've got one a week. Online parties. Mm-hmm. They are, it's like you're talking to yourself. You try to get your hostess involved. Okay. I even send the posts for my hostesses to post and pictures, things like that, and I end up like, what is the point? So I just send them a message, say, look, I'm not continuing with this party. There's no point. If you're not going to interact, they're not going to react to me because they don't know who I am. And that's, do you know what I mean? So I do. One
thing that popped into my head as you're saying that, I don't know if you're familiar with Lisa Hirth. She's one of the leaders with Jamberry. She's actually from England. She did a video just recently, and I happened to catch it, and she says, stop asking for a party. Just stop. She says, don't call it a party. Go backwards and say, let's get some girls together. I don't ever say, would you like to book a party? Except for when I'm in training, actually. Let's have a girls' night. Or would you like to get a few friends together to play with Jamberry? I'll bring it over. Everybody can play. A nanny night, something like that. Don't say, would you like to book a party? Because no one wants to book anything. I'm going to book an appointment to the gynecologist. I'm not like, I don't want to book that. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, that may have been inappropriate. Yeah. Get some friends together. Let's play with Jamberry. I'll bring it over, instead of booking a one-on-one, instead of scheduling one-on-one with somebody, saying, would you and your girlfriend come and let's play with Jamberry? And then, okay, do you like it? All right, let's get a few more friends together and play with Jamberry. And then, this is my favorite too. You like this. Do you want me to stick it together like a party? And then if you collect a few more orders, you can get some credit. Yeah. If you don't want to, it's no big deal. Who's not going to want to do that? But treat it like you're doing them a favor for putting it together like a party. Does that make sense? But don't say, do you want to book a party? Because nobody's going to want to. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but.
Yeah. But in certain cultures, you'll have to find out what goes well in your culture.
Exactly.
In our culture, book a party is a little like people are kind of done with that.
Yes.
But have some girlfriends over and we'll do nails.
I call it an open house. That word goes well because then people are like, oh, I don't have to go stay the whole time. So I like to call it an open house, like a Manny open house or something.
Nail bar. That's another one that I really like. Let's have a nail bar. I'll bring my stuff ready for their nails. And really, honestly, don't send them with just one. Have them at least do two. And if you don't, obviously you don't have lacquers yet. We're under a minute. Get a bottle of polish that goes well with, the samples, and let them polish the rest of their nails. Yeah. Just real quick. But make it a pampering night, and we are so out of time. So thanks
for talking.
Hang in there. It is so, that's the biggest thing. It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. So just keep on going. But we'll see ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. Good to chat.
Bye-bye.